I suspect we don't really appreciate how significant the invention of photography's been, how it's changed the way that we humans think about the universe we live in. Imagine back in the days of Jesus, as far as you can. Imagine how people must have remembered things in those days. Now, if you want to remember something that happened, you look back at the photographs. Facebook and Google sometimes send you automatic little messages on your phone, inviting you to relive this day 5 years ago, and the images all flash up, all by themselves as if by magic, picked and collated automatically from our electronic albums. And it's powerful, and sometimes you click on the links and suddenly you find yourself transported back to a moment, to the people you were with, to the particular scenery of a day which perhaps you'd forgotten, or the memories of which have since become submerged under lots of other things. But in the days of Jesus, though, you couldn't do anything of that. People relied on stories told by word of mouth, shared across families and small groups together, folk memories, interpreted and filtered through the customs and beliefs of a whole culture. God speaking here and there, conversations, places, scenes, events that happened not as random snapshots, but as part of a tradition, part of a narrative that runs through history. Photographs come to us as personal, private possessions tailor-made for each of us, whereas the things that people remembered then, I suspect, were held much more as common property, the experiences belonging not inside hundreds or thousands of individual minds and cameras, as to a people trying to understand their place in time and space, bound together with the events and memories that they share. What I really mean is that memory in ancient times was something more sacred, less random than it seems to be for us, where photographs have become disposable and cheap, and which pass before our eyes and in and out of our minds and our imaginations with enormous speed and quantity. It's as though we've almost got too many snapshots from our past at one level, and fewer genuine memories and reflections from the rich stories of our lives. The sixth station of the cross focuses on a moment not recorded in any of the Gospels, but which nevertheless somehow got into the collective memory of the medieval church. A woman called Veronica is moved with sympathy at the sight of Jesus dragging his cross, and she comes out of the crowd to give him her veil to wipe his forehead with. And he accepts, and then he hands it back to her, and she discovers afterwards that it bears the image miraculously caught like a photograph of his face in the fabric of the cloth. It becomes a great source of joy and significance, not just as the personal possession of Veronica, but as a gift to the whole of the Christian church. This station makes me think about how we hold memories, and it reminds me that for all the volume and variety of the pictures in each of our lives, the ones that turn out to matter need careful discernment and cherishing and handling. They help us to understand what's important. They give words to our prayers and the shape of our faith. Veronica's veil was never just meant as a personal souvenir, however remarkable, of an interesting day. It became something to contemplate and pray with, a point of connection between the divine story of Jesus and the human story of each of us. Lord, I thank you, not just for the gift of memories, as objects to be privately possessed in our photograph albums, but as moments in the stories that we are part of. I thank you for religious icons and images, not to be prayed to as objects in themselves, but as points which connect us with you. I pray too for people who've lost their memories, and in a society that's fragmented, and where people sometimes feel more broken and separated from each other than ever. Teach us, Lord, again to remember those moments on our journey together when we were drawn into something greater than just ourselves.